talk about who they're going after. The Heat. The number in the news for the Heat is 105.4. The Heat have a 105.4 defensive efficiency rating this season, which ranks 25th in the NBA. They're ranked in the top 7 in that category each of the past 3 seasons. That poor defense has LeBron irked.
It's simple. First 7 games playing like defensively. It's that simple. We're not no sugarcoat team. We came here and got right down to it. We're terrible on defense, and we have to change that.
Now Miami is 4-3 this season. You heard LeBron sounding a little edgy about it. Is there cause for concern in Miami, Tim?
Slight, but it's mid-November. Now look, its numbers never lie, right? So I came with a few numbers.
Oh, okay.
I looked up a couple of things. I was just curious. Since this group's been together, since they put the big 3 down in Miami, I looked at the first 10 games of the season. Each year they've been there. Last year they were giving up 101 points through 10 games. They end up somewhere in the low 90s. They've started off, they were 25th in the league in points allowed. At this time last year, they ended up in the top 6 in the NBA. That's been their pattern for the last 3 years. But I will say this. I did look up something else that makes me a little bit concerned. Right now, they're, I think, 26th or 27th points allowed. No team has won an NBA championship in the last 10 years finishing lower than 8th. The lowest ever in the last 10 years was Miami, the first Wade championship, when they finished 8th in points allowed. So they've got a lot of ground to make up right now in terms of easy baskets that they're allowing. But it is mid-November. They're going for their 4th straight championship. No team has played in 4 straight finals or 4 straight finals appearances.
Right.
No team's done that in almost 30 years. There's a reason. It's hard to keep your foot on the gas night in, night out.
This is true.
And there's some complacency with this team right now defensively.
Well, we started off this segment talking about the Pacers. That's reason number 1 is cause for concern in Miami, because that team is, as we like to say, about that life. That number 1 seed life. They are not fooling around. They're keeping their foot on the gas, defensively especially from the start. And Danny Granger may be coming back this Wednesday to practice, so they're just getting more reinforced. They just won 5 games in 7 days, for crying out loud. But if you're the Heat, what puzzles me, guys, Jamele, is why is this a constant subject of conversation? The number 1 on offense, but on defense, like our intensity, our focus. It's like, man, I really need to stop procrastinating tomorrow. It's like they keep on talking about the same thing year in and year out about complacency and boredom. Why not just fix the problem if you know what it is?
This is the product of when you know how good you are. And this has been, as Tim said, this has been their problem for the onset. Before they even proved they could win a NBA title, they were this way. Remember that first season? They started off 9-8, had a lot of the same issues, playing small ball, out-rebounded. Couldn't figure out whose team it was or how their offense was going to go late in games. It's the same situation. I just think they just need to work through it. Look, until somebody beats them 4 out of 7, I'm not worried about this team.
If you want a real reason to be concerned, if you're a Miami Heat fan, this is the first year since they put this group together that they haven't improved. They're not as good as they were a year ago. And Indiana is better than they were a year ago. And they took them to 7 games last year. Indiana's getting the number 1 seed. You can book it right now.
Really?
Indiana's going to win about 64 games this year. They're going to get the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. That's their focus. And Frank Vogel said it. Look, what if that game a year ago was in Indiana? Maybe we're in the finals. That's how important it is to us. He's put it out there. They look focused and determined. They added Scola. They added C.J. Watson. They shored up their bench. 2 veteran guys that are going to be more reliable in the playoffs. I love what Paul George looks like right now. The sub Hibbert and West up front. This is the team that's going to be the number 1
So
seed.
as we get to the number, answer this question for me. You said that Miami hasn't improved. Are you discounting LeBron's off-season improvement, assumed off-season improvement, or have you not seen it yet?
I'm looking at it like, he went from a 10 to a 10.1.
Okay,
you can't even judge it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Dwyane Wade is going to be as good as he's been. They also lost some key role players that helped them in the playoffs a year ago.
All right, let's see what the numbers say. The Heat are 4-3. Is there cause for concern in Miami? The numbers say no. So what if Miami ranks 25th on defense through 7 games? They did the same thing last year, too, which is what you said, Tim. Through 7 games last season, they ranked 22nd in defensive efficiency, but went on to rank 5th overall in the final 75 games. So they made up that ground last year.
It's hard to come off vacation on South Beach. All right.